everyone, welcome to Usapang Wala Lang. Loosely, it means aimless conversation. Wink. We'll be talking about ordinary stuff from perspective of boomers. Like us. Who's us? We're TresLokas. I'm Lisa and I'm coming from the great state of Texas.
I'm Lou and I'm streaming from the sunshine state of Florida.
And I'm Tita, all the way from the Philippines, where, as they say, things are always more fun.
Today, we'll be talking about boomers in the digital space, focusing on three areas: how we got started and the challenges with computers, why we need digital technology and its benefits.
Today, we'll be sharing our thoughts on seniors jumping into the digital world. As you listen in, we hope you can learn or relate to our experiences. To me, digital world means computers and cell phones. As a computer programmer in my previous life, computers were just tools you use at work. When you leave, the computer stays behind. Even when personal computers came out, it was not attractive to me because they were expensive, heavy, and fragile. Who would think that years later it will become portable, affordable, and become an indispensable part of our daily existence? Computer has evolved so much that we use them in almost everything we do: research, shopping, learning, connecting, and so much more. The convenience of synchronizing the computer with our cell phone made it easy for us to accept the continued progress and at the same time unaware of the downside. At least that's my experience. Yes, we get to connect to our friends and family who are far away, yet be disconnected to those around us. We establish a false sense of friendship with others. We have given strangers access to information, and we have given up our privacy by bringing technology inside our house. Human to human contact has been reduced to technical contact, denying us the ability to relate to one another, understand the different personalities, learn how to be patient and selfless. We also lost the ability to think for ourselves because, after all, Dr. Google and Mr. Google is always there to give us the answer. So, when you think about it, it's probably a good time to step back and assess when the new technology comes out to really assess the benefits and the risks before jumping in. At least that's my thought. What do you think?
Well, digital technology, even if we don't want it, we really need it in this time and age because most of our daily function really involves using an internet, an online, including appointments, office appointments, paying online, which we really don't want to do, or getting information. And you cannot really go to your doctor uh, most of the time without pre completing your pre information.
My accounts, my Facebook and my Messenger accounts were hacked. And it's all because I trusted a message that came to me from another hacked account. So anyway, it snowballed from there. My friends, my contacts, I scrambled to put together an alert message and send it out right away. Last text message to everyone. Lesson learned: never, ever, ever, ever share personal data over platforms such as those.
You know, there was a time one of our classmates too sent out. Well, he is supposed to be in England and he was mugged. They took his passport, wallet, and everything. So he's asking for money. And the only reason we didn't help is because a few days before that, he just sent out a message that he was diagnosed to have cancer. He is getting treatment. So we all knew that that was a scam.
Yeah.
You know, wrong timing
So
for the scammer.
yeah, so most of the time, a lot of these website or hospital apps, medical office app, you have to change your password almost like every 3 months.
My first cell phone was a BlackBerry that I bought 15 years ago, which is considered a Jurassic dinosaur compared to my current smartphone. In the year 2000, I bought my first computer, my first ever computer that I used for the office. Before all of this, I was in training and I was giving monthly presentation, typing my reports. So, what are the challenges of these new devices? Number one, they're not user friendly, I found out. Number two, there's always a fear of clicking the wrong button or the wrong app. So most of the time, I would be at a dead end. I would call my tech support and they will ask me for icons or what you call images that I've never heard or seen before. So we would go and go through tirade of describing all these images where a globe is a Wi-Fi, an arrow is a cursor, and a house is a homepage. So the next 5 years, with the help of my nieces and nephews and my younger office managers, I was able to navigate these computers. Also, with the help of my tech oriented husband, who gave me a lot of help through all these years. The next 10 years, I have to learn the system for the office, and that includes eClinical and Beacon. And eventually, I was able to set up a multiple computer system for the office where we learn how to download app and pay my vendors. Of course, the ordinary senior citizen would have difficulty navigating through this. So there are agencies like the AARP who provided classes and tutoring and workshop for them to learn how to navigate their computer and use their smartphones. But eventually down the line, I Zoomed, I Skyped, I Vibered, I Athenaed, and I Signaled. These are all essential because you need to be able to access your computer. You need a username, you need a password, you need to open your emails and communicate with your coworkers. These are very helpful, saving you time, spending more time with your families, and keeping in touch with your friends, archiving your photos that eventually lead to this podcast.
For me, I think the biggest challenge is really coping with the speed of change with which technology development is happening. It's like,
Exactly.
diba, parang we haven't even mastered yet the phone that we have, the new phone that we have. Then you have a new model coming up, and it's new functionalities all over again. So that to me
In
is the
fact,
biggest
yeah,
challenge.
in fact, since 2000 to the time that I retired in 22, I had 3 laptops. I changed 3 times my computer system. The first one is one computer, the next was my eClinical, and then the Athena changed it again
Mhm.
to a totally different system.
So what that means really is for us to keep relevant and to keep updated with all of these things, the learning, the learning curve should be steeper for us, no?
And it
Uh,
doesn't stop.
and it doesn't stop
It
exactly.
I know. You're
Yeah.
just learning half of it, and now there's a new thing going.
Exactly.
Mm.
And
That's
then
exactly
sometimes your
right.
computer cannot function anymore because now the new the new operating system needs more space, needs
They need a
mem-
bigger server, and always remember at 10 o'clock is very hard to get into because everybody's using it. Because that's
everybody's
when,
home.
yeah, from 9 to 5. No, 9 to 5.
Right.
Within your area, if everybody's using it at office hours, that's why it's always slow.
While the evolution of digital technology can be dizzying at times, there are many ways it continues to benefit us. Within the comforts of home, we can do almost all of our errands and activities. Less commute or sitting through traffic, less stress in finding a parking space or waiting in line at the checkout counter. On a personal level, there are three things digital technology has impacted me most. First, connection. Leaving home for college/university was emotionally overwhelming for me. I was fish out of the water. The only way I connected with family was through exchange of letters, handwritten letters for that matter. Calling home required an hour's commute to my grandparents' place so I could use their phone to place a long distance call. Collect. I bet millennials have no clue what I'm talking about. Fast forward. Today we have video chats. Had this been a thing back then, those college years would have been more bearable. Now, the second thing for me is access to this vast repository of information and knowledge. In my field of practice, which is organization, learning, and development, the internet is my lifeline. Connecting with clients, collaborating with associates, subject matter experts, updates, course design, and training delivery. Digital technology allows me to stay relevant and productive even as I've officially stepped out of the corporate arena. And finally, there's the shift in the workplace. Remote work has become the preferred option for many professionals, myself included. Collaborative tools such as cloud computing and video conferencing have made it possible to work seamlessly even from different locations. We've leveraged technology significantly and in a very profound way. In return, we need to be responsible digital citizens using technology as a force for good in this rapidly evolving world. Over and out. What I like best with what you said, Lou, was toward the end. Despite all of those challenges, here we are. Like you've you've adapted to several different apps, and you're actually using them, and it's actually making your life more efficient. You get to do things.
Very,
You
yeah,
get
very,
yeah, you get to
very
access
efficient.
stuff easily. So
Yeah.
here we are. We're boomers. We came from the dark ages of no computer. Uh, you know, I think
That's pretty deep.
the younger set today cannot imagine how we actually survived all those years. No, what? How did you meet up for coffee dates or lunch dates? Well, you set a time and you get there on time. That's how we did it. There were no cell phones to say, I'm on the way, when in fact you're not really on the way. You're just getting yourself dressed. You're still at home. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of those things now. No? But here we are. No, again, going back to Lou's end statement. No, here we are, and we're redefining what it means to be retired. We're redefining what it means to be boomers in this day and age. Um,
How would you know that we would be doing a podcast?
exactly that.
It's
Yeah,
courage and thick skin.
yeah,
I wouldn't even imagine that I would be doing a podcast. Anyway,
yeah. This is
Yeah.
truly a leap of
which is
faith.
again
No?
a challenge. It is a
Yeah,
challenge again,
yeah.
right?
It's a
Because
challenge.
Adapting.
it's a challenge.
Adapting. We're very good in adapting because we
We're
have
the
learned how to
TresLokas.
work without the
Yeah, because we're TresLokas, and because we're always in for a little bit of adventure. We are on this adventure. We're exploring something that we haven't done before, right?
yeah.
And in a different space for that matter. So, what are the chances? What are the chances that we would get likes? What are the chances that we would get subscriptions? I mean, well, we'll just have to put ourselves out there, and we'll
Yeah.
see.
But don't you feel that after you went from a BlackBerry to a one computer like me to a system and a multi-system, and now it's very easy to navigate now,
Yeah.
right?
Yay.
Except
Bravo.
except for what we're doing now, which is a learning curve again.
All
But then
yeah.
Yeah. I remember when we first used Zoom or Viber because we had to meet and we are all in different places.
Mhm.
It was a challenge, but it was fun. And you're correct. We are able to do our errands in the safety of our home, especially during pandemic. You can continue shopping and doing all those things. The main thing actually is we won't be able to do this without technology. We won't be able to do this podcast. You're in Manila, I'm in Texas, Louis in Florida. So without this technology, we won't be able to be together and do this meeting together. So yes, this is, I agree with all the things that you said.
It's a blessing insofar as connection is concerned. But we also need to remember what you said earlier as around the topic of connections. We make
Yes.
connections, but many of them are really very superficial. And that's because you cannot really, how do you do a hug? How do you how do you how do you hug
Vir-
people through
virtual
the
hug.
internet? Yeah, that's right. So
I like looking at the eye when I talk to somebody.
right.
You know, that's the human to human contact that I mentioned earlier is really important because, you know, I like to see, look in the eye, look at the
Mm-hmm.
expression.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, hugs. I'm a hugger, so I like that.
Yeah, yeah. When I started doing virtual training, for the life of me, I cannot seem to connect with the participants simply because suddenly my participants aren't full-bodied people, but rather they were thumbnails. They were thumbnails on my computer, like tiny, tiny people. I couldn't even see their expressions, and it was hard work for me because as a trainer, you you draw energy from your participants, when they smile, when they nod. These are feedback mechanisms that they tell you that they're with you, they are getting it.
Really another factor for the seniors are the cost, because they have
Mm-hmm.
a fixed income. Once you have your social security,
True.
cannot
True.
really be spending your money on big ticket item, and that to
Mm.
them, if they don't really need it like 24 hours a day, why would they even buy, secure a smartphone or a laptop?
True.
Thanks for eavesdropping on our first podcast. We hope to see you in our next one. But before you go, don't forget to click the like, hit subscribe, and share.